Welcome to Spoken Synergy. We are coming to you live from the Witch's Cottage on Wanjira country. We pay respects to the elders past, present and emerging. And in this wonderful episode, I have my dear friend Imogen Hobbs here from Change Channel Coaching. And I'm super excited. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you feeling in the Witch's Cottage?
Yeah, it's great.
Isn't it?
It's such an exceptional building.
It's beautiful. So I've got a lot of questions.
Wow.
But for those that are tuning in that don't know you and don't know what Change Channel Coaching is, do you want to explain your story and how you got to this point in your life?
It's a bit of an interesting one, understanding what your story is without your struggle. And I'm coming to terms with that place at the moment and separating myself from the struggle that has been. But life has been a series of implosions and explosions and broken hearts and heartache and jobs that I was good at but never felt passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest implosion came and I set to finding what it was that made me passionate, which took me down a very deep road of self-healing.
Sure.
To come out of that, and Change Channel was a product of that. I didn't set out to be a coach. I didn't set out to be a healer of any kind. And I remember you saying to me once at one of the trainings, this would be really good if you want to be a healer. And I was like, oh no, that's not me. I'm not doing that. And now I understand that that is actually what I'm doing. And that is actually the mission for me. But Change Channel really just evolved from that journey to find what I was passionate about, and helping people and fixing problems is my jam. It's what I love. It's what really makes me go. So, but I've found along that journey and many times along my journey that I've always been drawn to working with men.
Welcome to Gold Coast Insider, where we bring you business insights, stories, opportunities and forecasts from movers and shakers across the Gold Coast. I'm your host, Estella Rodiguero. I'm CEO of Regional Development Australia Gold Coast. In our last podcast, we featured Adam Chanter, who is the Marine Industry Skills Advisor. And we spoke to him in his capacity with the marine trade. However, I've invited Adam back today to talk to him about the Christmas Day Tornado Volunteer Recovery Program that followed up from the events of Christmas. Do you want to start by talking about that? And the reason we're doing this is because Adam coordinated the Chainsaw Warriors, and I wanted to talk about that whole sense of community. But let's start with the events of what happened at Christmas.
Yeah, thanks, Estella. Look, rewinding that, probably over 6 months ago now, or just coming on to that, there was Christmas night. Everyone's pretty jovial after a great Christmas lunch and having some great family time. And there was word through social media and whatnot of a potential storm coming through late Christmas night. That got severely downgraded coming into the mid-afternoon. So most people at home just enjoying family time, and next thing you know, about 8:30, I think, was where it was sort of at its peak. Right through a lot of regions through southeast Queensland was just decimated by what was classed as a tornado coming from Tambourine Mountain right down into Hope Island through Helensvale. So and broader. So the destruction that was left in the wake of that was, waking up on Boxing Day morning with no communications. We lost power. We had to have the whole grid rebuilt by Energex.
Hey, Kate.
Hey.
Can we follow on a little bit from our last talk when we were talking about yin and yang, in particular to action and inaction? I find it's really interesting. I think a lot of us have this problem, especially if we're creatives, when we create to create, but then maybe within our dreaming we have an intention or just a feeling or whatever pull it is to share, but then we go into a passive state because we're not willing to actually step into that action mode of what it would actually take to share. And the shadow aspects of how we sabotage ourselves with inaction when we should actually be choosing action. And yeah, just discernment around, I guess, spotting the difference of, when it is genuinely time to be passive or when you have to actually sacrifice that comfort, shed some light on those fears and move into the action of yang and doing that and sharing it to the world so that we're not keeping it stuck or repressed of something that needs to move.
Yeah, perfect. I think it's like such a good lead on to like that exploration of yin and yang, and the qualities of how they express. We want to marry it up in a practical manner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always looking to measure that which is, belongs to, I suppose, those metaphysical realms, more expansive, abstract wisdom.